Hello, my name is Steve and I'm with Graphic&Design. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create this vintage logo using Affinity Designer. For this tutorial I'm using Affinity Designer 1.73. Okay, before we start we need to create a new document. For that we come here to our bar at the top and we click File, New. I'm going to use 1920 by 1080, but you can use anything or any preset that you want. The thing is, use 300 dpi and I'll leave all the rest as it is. So I'm going to click OK, and now we have our new canvas where we can draw. Now before we continue, let's make sure that we have the same settings. So let's go to View and make sure that you have selected the Show Guides, Show Rulers, Show Context Toolbar. This one is going to become really important now, and Show Toolbars. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a text. So I'm going to click and drag to give some height to my text, and I'm going to type the word vintage. I'm going to select it and I'm going to change the font, and the font that I'm going to use is called Hornhill Serif. So this font gives some kind of vintage look, or it has some kind of vintage look. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put an arc, or I'm going to warp at the bottom of the text. Just for safety, I'm going to hit on the keyboard Command and J to make a copy, and I'm going to select that copy and I'm going to make it invisible. Okay, so now let's start with the other part. Now I'm going to start making a square. I selected the square tool. I'm going to make sure that is more or less the same size, and remember to have your snapping activated. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to make it fit perfectly to there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it a little bit down. I think it's something like that will be fine. And I'm going to convert this one to curves. Now I'm coming here to my node tool. I click in there, I select and I add a node in the middle. To make sure that it's in the middle, I click and drag to select all the three nodes at the bottom. I go to my alignment, and on my horizontal alignment I'm going to click distribution, so I make sure that all of them are distributed perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control on the keyboard and I'm going to click on my node, so I make it smooth. Now I'm going to hit Shift on my keyboard, click on the node and move it up. I think somewhere there should be fine. Now what I'm going to do is I want to give it a little bit more rounded thing, make it a little bit more rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in one of these handles, and then I'm going to hit Control on the keyboard, and then I'm going to move it. As you can see, both moves at the same time. So I'm going to make it more or less something like that. I think there we are fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one, Command J. So I got a duplicate, and I'm going to make it invisible, and I'm going to move them, these two backups basically, back to the bottom. Now I'm going to select the text, and we go to our contextual toolbar here at the top, and we click Convert to Curves. Now as you can see, it makes them, all of them, a group. So you click, or you hit on the keyboard Shift, Command and G to ungroup. Okay, now that we have all of them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving them close to this line that we have here. What I'm going to do first of all, let me see, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to use the node tool. I'm going to click on one of these one at the top, and I'm going to, here on action, I'm going to break the curve. So basically if I click there, what happened there? There we go. Now it's broken. So I'm going to select each one of these nodes and I'm going to delete them. Okay, so I remain only with the curve part of my box. So what I'm going to do now, something that I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the field. Sorry about that. There we go, and we need to put some stroke, so let's put this one for the time being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of each one of these ones, and I'm going to bring them more or less when you have the center right snapping into that curve that we have there. I'm going to do the same thing for all of them. That one is fine, and this one is fine. I'm going to use a different technique of what I used in one of my previous videos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the node tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this V here. Now as you can see, there is many points, so how you drag or you move all these ones without moving all together, that is very easy. If we come here to the contextual bar, this part where it says transform, this is quite important because you have quite a few different aids that you can use in here. One of them is first you enable the transform mode, and then you have this one that is called selection box from curve. So what happened is if I select quite a few nodes, when I release, it actually makes a box and you can actually move them all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift them a little bit up somewhere there, and then I'm going to pressing shift, I'm going to move them down more or less until they are close to that one there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select just only these ones so I don't move everything, and when you come close to the side and you see those two arrows, so basically you can shift it. So what I'm going to do is shift that one to there, and the other side I'm going to move it down. So that more or less gives without too much deformation. I know that it's not perfect, but actually it works fairly well. So what I'm going to do now is with this one I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take more or less all these ones, and what I'm going to do is again transform and make sure that you select the transform mode and the selection box. So what I'm going to do is now again on the side I'm going to come in here, let's zoom in there. So I'm coming here and I'm moving this one down a little bit, there we go, and I'm going to shift this one up like this, and I'm going to speed it up while I'm doing all the rest. Okay, so now we have that deformation. Now remember that this is the G is a little bit rounded there at the bottom, and what we have to do, like I did in the previous or in the other video, you always have to give that a little bit of curve there at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my curve there at the bottom. I'm going to give it, I think 5 pixels will be fine. What I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to move it a little bit up, the touching, just because there is touching perfect. And with the rest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all my letters, and I need to deselect my curve is not selected. Perfect. And I come here to the toolbar at the top, and I hit in geometry add. So now it's just only one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it backwards, and I'm going to click and drag to select everything, and I come here and geometry, and I'm going to give it a minus or subtraction. So now we have this one like this, and if I click this one, as you can see now there is in the background. I'm going to hit on the keyboard Command Shift to make it a little bit bigger, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it a little bit down, not too much, because I don't want too much space, just only something like that will be fine. And we can move it up a little bit and hit Command, so we can move both sides, and let's give a little bit of room on the sides. So that is the most difficult part of the entire video. Now with that we have here, is very basic. I'm going to click and drag to select everything, Command G, sorry, to make a group of these. Now I'm coming here to my circle tool, and I'm going to the middle, and I'm going to hit on the keyboard Command Shift to make it perfectly symmetrical, and I'm going to create a circle that is just a little bit bigger than our badge in there. That part is fine. Now I'm coming here, I'm going to create a square, something like this. I'm going to drag it here to the side. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker, something like that. I'm going to change this one to 1 pixel for the time being. So this one, maybe we can make it something like that, will be fine. I think they will be fine. Now we come here to our contextual toolbar, and we click Convert to Curves. Select your node tool, click on the middle. If you're not sure, click and drag to select all of them, and you can here to alignment on the vertical. Make sure that you have selection bound selected, and you click on there on your distribution, space vertically, and all of them are exactly the same. Now I'm going to click to deselect, click again, just only to select that one, and I'm going to move it in. I think it's something like that will be fine. This one also remains. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that one, hit Command J on my keyboard, so I make a duplicate. Now you come here to the top to the transform, and on the horizontal you hit on there, and now you move it to the other side, something like that. I think it will be fine. Perfect. So now is the text that is coming here at the bottom, and to do that is let's use the ellipse or circle tool, go to the middle again, Command Shift, click and drag. What is happening in here? Maybe is this a bug? Okay, let me do this again, and coming here to the middle. I'm going to make it outside. Sorry about that. Okay, so this one I'm going to put it right there in the middle. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and now I'm going to, with that circle selected, I'm coming here to my tools, and I'm going to select the artistic text tool, and I'm going to click close to that circle. As you can see, it changed the icon on my cursor, or my cursor change. I'm going to click in the, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it something like that, and let's put breweries, breweries since 2019, something like that will be fine. So let me move this one, make it somewhere there. I'm going to click the Command A to select everything, and I'm going to change the font, and the font that I'm going to use is called Cast Iron. So now I'm going to bring this one to the middle there. Now, as you can see, the problem that we have is all the letters are too close to each other. So we come here to our character panel. There we go, to our character panel. On our tracking, I'm going to give it some more space. Okay, I think they will be fine. I'm going to bring it back again to the middle, and then I'm coming here to my baseline, and I'm going to actually make it some negative. I think that is perfect. Good. So I'm going to click on the circle, and now I'm going to click in Convert to Curves. So now my text is actually curves. So basically we are almost finished. Let me send that one to the back. This one, it needs to go to the back actually. Okay, so fine, we have all our drawing done. Okay, now we need to start adding some color. So for that is, I'm going to select my text first of all that I have here, and the color that I gave it was actually white. I'm going to choose that background that I have in here. Okay, the problem that we have with this, or that I see with this, is basically that is too clean to be vintage. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to click and drag to select everything, and I'm going to group it. Okay, now that we have that one, let me delete that one there. Now that everything is one group, I'm going to put some mask here to give it some grunge and some scratches and things like that. Okay, now to visualize much better this one, I think first I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to put it there in the middle, and I'm going to give it a background. So I'm going to click on my rectangle tool to the top corner there, bring it down, and I'm going to give it maybe that color. I think that color is fine. Now with my selection tool, I'm going to take the border out, and the other thing is you click to select, and then you hit on your keyboard Command L to actually lock. So now you can move it. Okay, so let's bring some scratches and dirt here. So File, Place, Images. I'm going to start with that one. Click there, drag it there, then in here right click and rasterize to mask. So now it becomes a mask, and I'm going to grab it and move it as a mask. So the only thing that modifies is this. I'm going to click and select, and I'm going to move it to a position that I see that I like the amount of grunge or dirt that I have. Something like that, I think it will be fine. But this one is not the only one. So I'm going to repeat the process now with another one that I have here. There we have quite a few dirty scratches on our logo. Okay, now on the letters you can't see them very clear because we need some more contrast. So what I'm going to do is, coming back, I'm going to select this one and I'm going to select that one there, and I'm going to give it something a little bit more dark. Let me see, something like that. There we go. Now we have enough contrast. Okay, so I hope you like it. If you did, please remember to subscribe, to give the thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Please leave any comment or suggestions in the section down below. Like always, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video.